Hello, guys. Welcome to the Rupeeting podcast. After a very long time, we're trying a physical format shooting. You both are here, and our beloved member is now no more with us. No, with us. So, no. So, hi, guys. So, it's very, very hot here, right?
I don't know, it's what, 6 right now. We are recording this podcast at 6.
It feels like in the middle of a nude, but So, but that's not only the hot thing, because our energy bills are also very hot right now because of the ACs and all those things. That's bring us to today's topic, which is related to renewable energy. So, quick fact, by the way. So, India is planning to grow its renewable energy capacity to 500 gigawatt by 2030. And to give you a context, it is 190 gigawatts currently. So, I think it's 3x.
So we all going to say 2.6, 3x times they're planning to increase within 6 years.
6 years. So, that is a 18% CAGR.
Yeah. But then that is a really aspirational target, because considering the past, in the past, what, like 30 years old, we just have 190 gigawatt.
Yeah.
And then in the next 6 years, we want to travel more than double it.
2.6x for last 30 years compared to last 30 years.
That's crazy.
And that turns into a 18% CAGR. So as an investor, of course, that might catch your ears. But 18% CAGR is a very lucrative return. But the important question remains, how to earn that profit?
Yeah, how can we capitalize on this opportunity?
Yeah. Because the problem is there are a lot of variables and a lot of things need to fall in place to this happen. And that's why I think government is also very pushing.
There's a lot of government impetus too.
I think whether it's green hydrogen, whether it's electrical vehicles, or even solar or hydro, green harm,
and there are a number of
renewable projects. So coming back to today's company, which is actually related to all of these sectors, not directly maybe, but indirectly, because one important element that we did not forget, but it's evident that we're gonna need is money to finance all these things.
Yeah.
So today's company is IREDA. How do you pronounce it? IREDA.
I don't really know. So the full form is Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency.
Good, thanks. So however you want to pronounce it, it's a government company, and it's just listed like 6 months ago, 5 or 6 months ago, and
Came in November
2023. And just 6 months they're given us 3x return already. Yeah. So it's just kind of an upper circuit, lower circuit stock, mostly in upper circuit. But so it's a government company basically, which is apparently first and only company.
Yeah, the first and the only company to fully finance renewable energy projects. I think they're in this business for the last 36 years now.
Yeah, but since now it has picked up so much. Yeah, so that's why the IPO and maybe.
Yeah, and then plus the IPO and the renewable energy trend in general. So because I didn't know that there is any such NBFC which is purely into green financing, but with the IPO and this green renewable energy trend, I finally got to know that there's this company who's purely into green financing.
Because I think as we increase to a more greener future, the need of financing such things will also increase.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty evident in their loan book also. I guess they have did 30,000 crore since their inception. That is FY21.
Yeah.
FY21.
Yeah.
Right, and after FY21
to FY24, almost same, like 31,000
years. So in 30 years and 3 years, they have delivered the same growth in their load growth.
And that is a massive jump.
Yeah. So that's a very favorable thing for the company. But main question, how does it earn money? Right, because at the end, whether it's green or government or anything, profit generating should be the
investors' main motive is to earn profits. बाद में मेरा green something मेरे को मेरा return चाहिए मेरे capital में.
Yeah. But of course, green energy, if you're doing that while making a return, it's a good thing. Yeah. So basically, just how your standard run-of-the-mill NBFC works, it's raises capital from banks or foreign institutional charge a spread to it and then give it free. What in banking term it's called net interest margins. So that's pretty simple. But I think this being a government company, it benefits them because they are considered relatively safer than a private company.
You write that tag of government, right? Yeah.
Like government will not default, hopefully. So that is that. Plus, I think they are involved into green financing and all these things. So maybe there is some green bonds. I don't think they are really into this yet.
Not yet, because the foreign borrowing is very less when it comes to the loan book, as in when they're raising funds. But I think now, how could we forget this? So now there has been a recent milestone movement for the company. The company was a mini Ratna, and now it has been given the status of Navratna. So this has added to more spotlight on the company, and people are now getting to know more about the company. So the perception of the investors is also changing day by day.
Well, I think Mini Ratna to Navratna transition opened up a lot of paths.
Yeah, because I think you get more autonomy in your operations, and there you can invest, I think, up to around 1,000 crores or 15% of your net worth, whichever is lower. But I think 1,000 is the cap.
Okay.
Without any government approval. So as you also know that government approval,
SADC for
there are a lot of delays. But this particular nerve,
so without any special approvals or any other, they can invest
amounts now up to their own discretion.
Nice. So that gives a lot of freedom for them. Yeah. For this company might be acquiring another small bank or NBFC. Right.
Yeah. And at the same time, then if you see that the company is lending more to private players. So while I was researching about this company, so a similar question was asked to the management of the company. So they said, if you see that private players in general are at the forefront for developing renewable energy, so hence we want to focus more on them than the public sector. And they're very open to this. It's not like that they will just fund private players, but if they find good ample opportunity,
basically wherever they find opportunity, they are open to it. Yeah. But then essentially, because being at the public company, I also thought that most of the loan moves
should be to a public company.
That's a very different chain and thing for a company as well.
And then it's also that they are already lending to the traditional renewable sources like wind, solar, hydropower. And I think solar is like around 30% of its loan book, which earlier used to be at around like 45 or 50%.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are diversified.
So now they started diversifying. So now they started entering into green hydrogen.
Okay.
Pumped hydro storage, power plants, and then battery storage also. So in battery system, they are giving loans for battery recycling, battery energy storage,
yeah.
And then there are a few other venues in the
there's a lot of factors. It's a very big
chain. So, and then I was reading that it's a 1 lakh crore market opportunity for them to tap.
And their loan book currently is what? 60,000 crores. Yeah. Of all these sectors.
Just one sector. This is just one new emerging sector for them.
See, and I think with the new Prime Minister recently launched the rooftop solar. I think that's gonna be also beneficial.
Yeah. So then, that rooftop solar. Then there is this PM Kusum scheme.
Okay.
This is also related to solar, and that particular scheme also has an opportunity about around 34,000 crore rupees. So as in this industry is at a very nascent stage. So and IRT,
there is a lot of room for
considering there were 33% market share in this renewable financing.
Okay. So basically every 100 rupees lent out in green financing, 33 is lent out by
IREDA. So they started this and they are the leaders.
By the way, everyone works in this sector. SBI, HFC, okay.
But then their loan book concentration will be what, like I think around 8 to 10%,
because they are under different sectors they are providing, and this is just one. Okay. Man, so a lot of things I think are falling in place for IREDA.
Yeah,
and I think that is what justify the recent rally.
So recent rally, do 3x and 10x, 561. But there has to be some rationale behind this particular increase in price.
But I think anyway nowadays whenever there's any company which is related to any particular sector, related to whether it's green revolution or hydrogen but this considering it can benefit from all these sectors, and that's why it must experience a very recent rally, I think.
Yeah, and then I think the government is also supporting the company recently. So before the IPO, like in November 2020, they had their IPO. So the government also in FY22, they infused capital of around, I think, 1,500 crores in the company, considering their growth opportunities and their performance over the years. So if you see the NPAs of the company at COVID time were around 8.7%.
This is the net NPO, gross.
This is
It must be gross.
this is gross, which has now come down to, as of FY24, come down to around 1.5, somewhere between 1.5 to 2%.
But still, even if we take ballpark from 9 to 1.5.
Yeah, that's a great job. Yeah. And I think it is because they have their own proprietary credit risk rating system. So I think they have those 7 parameters through which they judge the risk profile of each borrower.
Yeah.
And at the same time, they do monthly monitoring of the projects in which they have given loans. So they know how their money is being utilized or how their money is being invested.
Because all of these projects, they don't finance upfront because it's a drawdown method. As soon as the finance project gets committed.
Yeah, so according to the stage completion, they have been disbursing loans. So that way, they have been keeping in check about their asset quality. So I think in FY23 alone, they closed or upgraded about like 18 NPA accounts in FY23 alone, which were write-off. Yeah, so from write-off now, I remember this very interesting fact about the company that till date, companies disbursed what around 1,07,000 crore worth of loans. And try and guess how much has been written off. Just try and guess, a small guess.
Like they have to book losses.
Yeah, just lifetime.
Out of 1.7. Okay. Let's, I think around 1,000, 2,000 crore, maybe?
No, then just 203 crores.
Oh, just 1.7.
Yeah,
That's a really low number. Yeah, that's a really low number. Just 200. That's like what operational cost will be. That's not an item, man.
Yeah, dude, just 203 crores. So that's crazy. And at the same time, being a leader and such good asset quality. So I think there have been increase in ratings also, credit ratings. And this,
I think company bought the AAA ratings. Right?
They have AAA ratings. And also if you see credit ratings are really important for the banks.
It's a direct financing.
And so it will has around much the cost of borrowings going forward in future. If your credit ratings are good enough,
Nice, of course.
the lenders will have faith in you at their financials.
Add to that the government status. So that also.
And so going forward, we can see that there will be a decrease in cost of borrowings also for them, which is a good sign. So they can increase the spread also. That there is a room for that expansion as well. So now we have been talking about what is going on currently with the company. But what can be next for the company with the Navratna status? So yeah, if you see, as we were discussing, that Navratna status, you have more autonomy. You can invest up to 1,000 crores or a certain percentage of your net worth without any approval.
Yeah.
And then there are also such things that you can forge partnerships, you can open up subsidiaries, you can enter into JVs,
Which also opens up your areas of
opportunities for them. And at the same time, so talking about partnerships, the company was in talks with the government to be given Navratna status. It's since the time of the IPO. So I was going through the management interview. They said they've already been in talks with the government for the Navratna status. So during that period also, the company has already started working on these things. So they have signed partnerships with a few banks such as Union Bank, Bank of Maharashtra and Punjab National Bank for co-lending.
Okay, yeah. It's a very new phenomenon in the bank.
Yeah, like NBFCs are now collaborating with banks to
leverage their network.
Yeah, but why did they do this? Like, I would want to know. Like,
actually, see, so NBFC as a they are not banks basically. They're non-banking is a name on it. So they can't have access to RBI's money. Basically, what repo rate and their trade with exchange. So they don't have access to that money. So they have to borrow it from any other banks, which inherently increases their borrowing cost. So if they tie up with banks, so if even let's say 50-50, so 50% Bank of Baroda, so their cost will be lower, and hence whole loan cost will be.
So the blended cost will become.
Plus, add to that, the banks increase the distribution market. For example, if they tie up with Bank of Baroda, which must have like thousands of branches across India, so they can sell their product
And a much more renowned name. So that adds to credibility aspect also. Okay, so
that's interesting. Also, I just wanted to understand very brief in how this mini Ratna to Navratna transition happened. But is there anything company has to do among the parameters and anything?
Yeah. So there is this set criteria that first you have to be a listed company. So which our company did. Like they brought their IPO in November and they at the same time they had asked the government to such a okay.
So that might be the only requirement before the IPO.
Yeah, before IPO. And then what was that? Then there are like 5 to 6 parameters like return ratios, like your ROA have to be greater than a certain number, then your net worth has to be greater than
so they have fixed criteria.
Yeah.
You have to check everything.
Yeah. So these 5 or 6 criteria, and then the government makes a score, like a composite score out of these 5 or 6 criteria. It has to be greater than 60
out of 100.
Yeah, out of 100, greater than 60. And this is considered for the last 5 years.
Okay, so they are sustainable.
So you have to have a sustainable and improving financial or operational performance over a period of 5 years. And the company has been generating a score of 90 plus.
Oh, really? So it sounds like the listing was the only requirement.
Listing was the only requirement left for them. So 90 score ka tha unke paas. And then the ministry also gives you rating. So they rate you on the scale of very good, good, excellent, whatever. So for that also you need 3 years ka excellent rating out of 5. And the company has gotten 4 years already. Excellent rating.
And as soon as they got listed, they pretty much
so people already knew that Navratna to bani jayegi.
Because that's why I with that extra reserve.
But then if you see, jaise usko Navratna banaya, that particular day the stock rallied by 12%.
Okay.
Oh, particular day pe.
Yeah, it's marketing started. Crazy. Yeah. But I think as we talked in the last 20 minutes, that a lot of the things going in favor of renewables and green financing. Basically every other sector is going to grow. IREDA is going to benefit from it. Add to that a government company, plus maybe the status of Navratna that you mentioned. I think there are a lot of things going in favor of the company. But I think stock has also rallied. That to other government finance company like PFC and REs. Right? Yeah. So they traded around 2 to 3 times the book
1.5 to 2 times.
1.5 to 2. But for it is 5 times.
Yeah, this is trading at 5 times.
Yeah. So that also actually justify maybe whatever we discussed. But now is there a room for more that I think investors need to?
That investors need to decide. But then if you see that there is government is pushing for renewable financing.
Right.
So that is one case, and IRDA being the market leader, will capture the size because
market leader.
Yeah, they demonstrated it because in the last 3 years they increased the loan book to the extent of the entire in its history since inception. So, company still has a lot of need to grow.
It's just that they have to grow at this level to justify
this earnings. So one has been difficult.
One has to keep a close eye on.
Yeah, because even a minor setback in the performance,
and also I forgot to mention that currently, I think basically every bank and NBFC is going through a cleanup. Their books are going clean up and everything. But I think when we just have to look for when credit cycle turns, right? When the tide turns, so that also will, but I think as you said, since last 30 years, there were only 200 crore.
Yeah, right.
So hopefully that doesn't happen with the company. But yeah, one cannot ignore that aspect also.
Because even a slash the performance can just...
There is a very, very less error at current current
valuations. Investors need...
But again, this is not an investment, not by the advice.
This is just for education purposes.
Yeah. It's a good time. Your disclosure. So that's pretty much sums it up about that. Yeah.
So there's nothing.
So it should at least be in your watch list.
Yeah, you should definitely keep this in your watch list. And if you want to be part of India's renewable energy story,
then just understand what's gonna work, EV or hydrogen, or you can just buy this. So that or consult your financial advisor before taking it action.
Yeah. So
Nice one. So let us know in the comment if you like this physical podcast more or not. So we'll keep on doing this And like, share, subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you the next time. Bye bye.
Bye.